Practice has gone very well. We've been very fortunate with the weather. I think this time of year you're always concerned about how much you're going to be able to get out. But I think other than one day, we were in the Brock building one day last week when it rained pretty heavily. We've been able to get out, and I would say being able to get into that Brock building, we really didn't miss a beat and felt like it was one of our best practices of the year when we went inside. But our pitchers are progressing. We've had a few of them nicked up. We've had two of them that have had some hamstring problems, so been limited in throwing, but I do think that one of them will throw today, and I'm hoping that the other one can get in there this weekend because we need both of them desperately when you look at playing 4 games that first weekend. But all in all, it's all been very good. I'm still trying to decide. I mean, I think, Buck's going to throw the first game, and I know Grimes will throw the second game. I think after that, I told our team after Saturday's workout, they're going to determine who those guys are that throw, games 3 and 4 at Winthrop, and then they're going to determine who's going to throw at Georgia Southern the following Wednesday. But nobody has really totally just stepped up and said, okay, you can count on me to do this, and that's kind of what I'm waiting to look for. And hopefully this weekend and this week we'll have a few more answers on that one.
Can you talk about who you feel like your candidates are at this point?
Mm-hmm. I think Dusty Isaacs is definitely a candidate. DeAndre Smelter, Jonathan Roberts, even Cole Pitts, one of our freshmen. I think those 4 guys somewhere in that mix. Davies is teasing me over here. He threw 3 innings on Sunday, and his last inning. If he throws like he threw his last inning, then he's going to tease me a little bit on maybe what I should do with him. But we have some candidates. We'll just have to sort it and see what's the best step to take moving forward. I think for sure, and I think any team, doesn't matter if it's this team or any team we've ever had, you're always trying to figure out who your pitchers are that you can count on. And, I think the good thing for us, we have a lot of candidates. We just, it's going to take us a little while maybe to see exactly who can be consistent. And I think that's what we're looking for. I think all of them have very good arms and have ability, but you're looking for the guy that can give you a consistent performance day in and day out.
You have 2 freshman catchers. Has either one of them stepped up to show which one will be the backup for Zane when he takes a day off?
I like both of them, but I also like Mitch Ernest, who was our backup last year. I think Mitch probably throws better than both those guys, and at times catches better than both those guys. But I think of the 2 freshmen, I think Lynch maybe is a little more advanced than AJ, but I like AJ a lot as well. So, they're all going to get some opportunities to catch because we're going to pitch Zane some. So, it's a good problem to have in that we do have some catching depth finally.
From last year, what I took just from pitching not only outside the ACC but inside the ACC was just that you always have to get that win. I mean, no matter if it's on Sunday, Saturday, or Friday, you got to go out there and give your team a chance to win, and that's what I'm going to take into Friday this year is just hopefully give my team a chance to win and start the series off right.
Oh, I agree with what he just said. I think last year pitching on Sundays, he gave us a chance to win every Sunday, and that's all you can ask, whether it's Buck or somebody else. If they give your team a chance every time you go out there, they've done their job. And You know, he is a tough competitor. He does not like to lose, and he cares a lot about our team. So he's definitely the right guy for us to throw on Fridays.
Jake, what's the mental aspect of the game like when you have to switch back and forth between playing first and then maybe coming in to relieve, or as the coach said, maybe a surprise starter?
The surprise starter sounds good, but no, it's just no, you just you got to mentally prepare yourself before. I mean, even the season starts. Like right now, when I throw my bullpens, I got to be mentally prepared. And what I'm doing at first base, throwing wise, to help myself in case I do need to come in, you know, maybe back end of a game to help get some outs here and there, and you know, get a lefty out if they need me to. I mean, for me, my freshman year, I did a lot more pitching and a lot less hitting. I haven't really pitched and hit, you know, a bunch, and I'm just trying to work on the mental aspect of being able to always be ready to go out there and throw if I'm needed to go out there and get outs, stuff like that.
Coach, you lose Skull from last year. Who do you see filling the left side? Who do you see filling in third?
I think Chase Butler probably initially, but I like Alex Cruz a lot. I think both of them will get opportunities to play. We're pitching Cruz as well, so that you know, I have to take that into consideration with his arm, and I really think Cruz can help us as a pitcher. So I like both of them. Butler probably has more range. They probably hit very similar, and they both have good arms. So, you know, I think both of them defensively will be very good over there. Are they going to hit like Skull? I don't think so, and I really don't expect them to do that. But, you know, I just want them to be able to contribute to our offense, and that's all I could ask of them.
Coach, in past years you've had players like Loyal Goss and Roddy Jones try to make the transition from football to baseball, and they had been away for a couple of years from the game. Now you have a player like Jamal Golden. How does he compare, and will it be easier since he hasn't been away that long?
Well, we just got Jamal out. I think did he come out over the weekend? Is that when he came out?
Yeah, last week.
He came out late last week, and some of you may or may not know his mother had passed away. So, you know, he was certainly dealing with that grief. But Jamal's a great athlete. He has no fear. He's behind hitting, and I think anytime you take time away from the game, and I don't care who you are, the hardest part to get back is the hitting part. But he's a good athlete. Looks like he'll run the ball down good. He's a great kid. But he's behind hitting, and it's going to take him a while to get some reps. But the thing I like, we've stuck him right in inter-squad games, and he hasn't been scared going to the plate. And the other day he struck out on, I think, 3 pitches, but he swung the bat on every one of them, and I applauded him. I said that's what you need to do. Get in there and take your hacks and swing, and sooner or later your timing will come back. So I like him. You know, I know he's going to try to win a job this spring in football. So how much we get him, you know, we may not get him as much until school is out. But great kid, good athlete, and you know, nice to have him on our team.
I don't know how much the school part played into it. Was he kind of get drafted last year?
Oh, I think there was a lot of pro scouts that went and watched him, and I think it's his cousin Reggie Golden that was a real high draft pick out of Alabama a couple years ago. It signed out of high school, so I think he was on the radar of a lot of scouts. I think a lot of them just felt like he would have been a lower draft pick, so he's got a scholarship to Georgia Tech. Let him go to school, and you know, see what he can do once he gets over to school. But yeah, he was definitely on pro scouts' radar because I asked a couple of them about him.
Matt Grimes, how has he done so far? He's obviously going to be, I would assume, he'll be your Saturday guy. What has he shown you so far?
Oh, I like Grimes a lot. I mean, I think he's got a lot of talent. I think, like a lot of young guys, he's still working to be a consistent pitcher day in and day out, but he's got probably as good a fastball as we have on our team. At times has a real good breaking ball, changeup he's still, you know, working on. At times it's really good. So, you know, he just needs to get out there, but I like him a lot. And he pitched some tough games for us midweek last year, so I think he's pretty seasoned. and I look for him to be certainly a valuable guy in our rotation.
To that end, do you feel like you're kind of leader of the staff now that you had some guys to follow last year, but have you felt like that kind of changing your status?
Not necessarily the leader of the staff, but maybe just an example for hopefully the other guys in the pen and our other starters to follow. Just as far as last year, following Pope and Jed, I learned a lot from how experience helps in the ACC. I was young. I was only a sophomore last year, throwing in the ACC, and I'm not gonna lie, I gave up a lot of hits, but it's one of those things to where over the years experience comes into effect, and hopefully this year some of the freshmen and younger guys like Grimes will learn that.
Coach, when it comes to the end of the year and seeding, that type of thing, I guess midweek games are equally as important now. Do you continue to use a freshman as the midweek starter, or do you use maybe someone that isn't the Sunday starter?
Well, I don't think it matters if it's a freshman or who it is, but those midweek games are important. And if you look at the ones that we played just last year, I mean, Georgia obviously plays in the SEC and is always going to be good. They're ranked again this year, preseason. Georgia Southern had an excellent team last year and has two players on their team this year that will probably be first-round picks in the draft in June. Kennesaw State is good. Mercer, we did not beat them once last year. They beat us twice. Georgia State has come in and beat us. So our midweek games are not easy, but I don't care if it's a freshman or if it's an upperclassman. We're going to need somebody that can pitch well in those games for us to do well, because they're important games, and at the end of the year, a lot of those games do become factors in whether you play at home or whether you play on the road in the NCAAs.
The starters are pretty solid. You got Bart at the end. How's the bridge between the starters and Bart? And is there one arm that maybe has surprised you since the start of practice?
Well, I think we have a lot of guys that can bridge it. I already mentioned Jake. We didn't pitch Jake a lot last year because we had to play him a lot at first base, but he will have a much greater role in our bullpen this year, very similar to probably his freshman year. I like Zane Evans a lot. I mean, I think Zane is a talented pitcher. The trick will be he's catching, and how do you balance that? Devin Stanton, I think, is a lefty that pretty much was a situational lefty last year, but I think he'll have a much greater role in our pen. One of our freshmen, Josh Hedinger, I think has good ability. Fastball is getting better, but he has a real good breaking ball, and I think he's a guy that will get us some outs. Clay Dalton certainly is a senior that has pitched a lot. Not a senior, I take that back, he's a junior. But he has pitched a lot and should have a significant role in our pen as well. So I would say those guys. I mentioned Cruz. I think he can help us. Daniel Palka, who hit well for us last year, we're going to pitch him a little bit, but he might just be a one-inning left-hand guy that comes in and gets you 3 out. So I think we have a lot of candidates to bridge it.